The terms and concepts associated with network functions virtualization, or NFV, have been with us for more than 7 years now. But what does it mean for network operators today? Well, I'm talking with Andrea Donà, he's head of networks at Vodafone UK, about the impact of virtualization and the role of telco cloud capabilities. Andrea, great to talk to you today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's get stuck into this. How has the introduction of virtualization impacted Vodafone's network in the past few years?
Well, virtualization has enabled us to realize quicker time to market for new mobile and fixed network functions. It has helped us reduce deployment time by 40%, allowed us more versatility on scaling, increasing and reducing capacity where necessary. It allows us to switch on and off resources more flexibly, enabled us to reduce and introduce a single infrastructure operating model, allowing us to build proof of concepts in a matter of days instead of weeks and months. And finally, last but not least, it has enabled us to reduce OpEx, our hardware costs, our warranty, and our software support costs.
Well, that sounds like a pretty comprehensive list of positives there. Lots of gains that the NFV's proponents were talking about for a number of years. Would you say now then that Vodafone has a telco cloud platform?
We've always been very clear on our strategy to be the industry leading digital telco. And the progress we've made in introducing modern cloud-based technology and automation means that now we have a large on-prem telco cloud platform. Every new service, every new function we introduce is virtualized. All existing services and functions have a roadmap to be virtualized. We have 59 deployed sites across our European footprint, growing by an additional 30% in this financial year. So yes, we have a telco cloud platform present in situ today.
Okay, great. So what does that mean in terms of the way that the network is run and managed? How is it different from a pre-telco cloud?
Well, it's enabled us to design, build, test, deploy the next generation functions more securely, about 40% more quickly than we would have traditionally done otherwise, more efficiently at an estimated reduced network function cost of about 50%. The infrastructure automation that we've overlaid has also helped us limit the amount of manual intervention required when we're intervening on a fault, when operating the network. That's increasing the accuracy of our intervention and therefore reducing the network risks, thus enhancing the overall customer experience when a fault materializes on the network.
Okay, and that's an important point you made there, because so far we've been talking about Vodafone and the impact it's had on your operations and how you go about your daily work. But obviously, at the end of the day, everything is done for the customers. So, what has this meant in terms of the kind of services and applications you're able to offer to your customers, and has it impacted the way that Vodafone interacts with its customers?
It's drastically changed the way that we are able to offer the services and the way that we interact with our customers. The fact that we've now got a cloud-based infrastructure supporting voice core, data core, and the service platforms on over 1,000 plus virtual network functions means that we now have 50% of our core network nodes providing voice and data services through a virtualized system. And as I said earlier, this increases the speed with which we can serve our customers, and we can do so more reliably and with greater accuracy. We've increased the breadth of what we can service, and we've also increased the speed with which we can service our customers along a broader breadth of services. So it's drastically improved the way that we can service and interact with our customers.
Okay, excellent. And of course, we're now in the sort of the early days of 5G service rollout, but this evolution of NFV and the cloudification of telco networks. This has been happening for years and throughout the development of 4G. But what does this virtualization, this cloudification mean in terms of 5G? How important is this to 5G strategies?
Well, critical to the successful delivery of 5G is the programmability part of 5G that will allow dynamic assignment of resources to the corresponding tasks that are required at any moment in time in any part of the network. In order to fully bring this programmability aspect of 5G to life, we need to properly deliver both the incremental capacities of this 5G programmability and allow to dynamically allocate these resources while delivering cost savings. So we need to be able to deliver service at peak utilizations with desired quality of services. But as this usage scales down to a lower level, the correlating resources assigned needs to be scaled back in order to align the cost to those particular traffic levels. This is practically perhaps only achievable through the virtualization of network functions. So in short, to fully bring the full potential of 5G and the programmability that that brings, we can only achieve it if coupled with cloudification. Virtualization should not only be seen as a means of lowering the costs of owning and maintaining the networks. That's only one part of it. It's only the start of our journey. It's also the new revenue streams that virtualization and 5G together have the potential to create. And that is what we need to focus on.
So obviously the evolution and development of virtualization and NFV, that's been happening for years through the development of 4G and LTE. But how important is this virtualization and cloudification to 5G strategies?
So critical to the successful delivery of 5G is the programmability aspect of 5G. The 5G allowing us to dynamically assign resources to the corresponding tasks that at any point in time and any part of the network is required to deliver. However, in order to properly deliver this incremental capability of 5G network programmability compared to the legacy network and to enable relative cost savings, an operator must be able to deliver the service at peak utilization with the desired quality of service, but at use scales down at a lower level, the corresponding resources need to be scaled back as well in order to align to the cost to those particular traffic levels. This is practically perhaps only achieved through the virtualization of network functions. So in order to bring the full potential of 5G and the programmability that comes with it, this can only be achieved if coupled with cloudification. Virtualization should not only be seen as a means of lowering the cost of owning and maintaining networks. This is only the start of the journey. The new revenue streams that virtualization and 5G together have the potential to create should also be a clear focus of ours.
Okay, excellent. And that, I think that's a message I think will give great encouragement to other operators as well, because although we're quite a few years down the line in terms of virtualization, in many ways we're still at almost at the start of this ongoing journey. And in terms of that journey, and obviously 4G is not going away, 5G is being introduced, so there's a lot still to do with the existing networks that are delivering mobile broadband and plenty of other services. What's next in the virtualization and cloudification of the network and functions for Vodafone? How is this going to evolve for you as you roll out your 5G capabilities?
Yeah, as we continue our virtualization journey and introduce new technologies such as edge computing, network slicing, and mobile private network, we need to be cognizant of the additional strain we're putting on the network infrastructure in terms of power, space, and energy. We have to have an energy efficient deployment, and low ongoing maintenance is key to allow us to scale further on the NFE front. Otherwise, the costs become prohibitive. Let's remind ourselves that we move from a technology requiring low power levels, 1 to 2 kilowatts of power to devices needing 5 kilowatts as we increase the compute power on these devices. This can be as high as 15 to 25 kilowatts per cabin when the latency requirements increases to, say, less than 1 millisecond. This in turn translates into additional requirements on cooling from relatively low cooling requirements of less than 5 kilowatts per rack, using typically air or free air cooling systems, to higher density cooling with 25 kilowatts per rack and liquid cooling. So the edge also is adding to this strain on the infrastructure already present from the NFVF drive that we're pushing into the network. Let's also not forget that edge is not only taking compute and storage from the center of the core, but we will have technologies like Open RAN, which will also see the potential move of processing of the digital and control units in the radio equipment into the network. So we have to get this balance correct between pushing more compute and storage from the edge, from the core into the edge, and from the edge back into the core. So this balance of this increase in burden together with the energy requirement needs to be carefully balanced. Another area of development is the full operationalization of NFVs to completely unleash the full potential of what NFV brings. By implementing a data evidence-based engineering approach that relies on decisions taken from real data drawn from the virtualized platforms and applying predictive trend analysis for network virtual infrastructure capacity planning or network function performance KPIs on which we can then build and run machine learning algorithms, we can clearly start understanding what next on the horizon for network function virtualization deployments.
Okay, fantastic. That's a great set of points you were making there. Particularly around the sustainability. That's obviously incredibly important as that edge cloud becomes developed. The power associated with that needs to be managed very closely, and I know that's something that a lot of operators are looking at, and something that we're very keen to talk about here at Telecom TV. So, Andrea, thanks for talking to us today. Great insights into where you've got in terms of the cloudification of your network and what the next steps are and the challenges are. And I hope that you will come back again and give us another update on how that edge computing and those power resource plans are taking shape and impacting the way you do business.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, Ray. Thank you.